So, does this move just show the party's desperation? Here to debate, Democratic strategist Antoine Seawright and former political director for President George W. Bush, Matt Schlapp. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. So, Antoine, my understanding was that if you were a Democrat invested in the resistance, your talking point so far had been to let Bob Mueller do his job, let the special counsel get to the bottom of it. Why is the DNC preempting Bob Mueller and instead taking their own legal action here?
Well, I think the DNC just wants some answers, and the DNC wants to send a message to anyone else in our world who may want to try to attack our democracy as the Russians did the last election cycle. Now, this is not the first time the Democratic National Committee has filed a lawsuit against a presidential campaign committee. It happened with the Nixon crew during the Watergate situation, and they have a real reason to. Keep in mind, it was the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks who essentially worked together to hack into the DNC for the result of trying to swear an election.
Matt, if that were to be the case, wouldn't Bob Mueller be able to investigate that and find that? This is you, Matt. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. Yeah, absolutely. This is the whole problem, which is the Democrats do realize that this Russia made-up narrative is not working. And what I love about it, Pete,
that Russia didn't hack into our elections, Matt?
Let me keep going here, Antoine. What I love it as a Republican is we've all said all along on the Republican side that this is all just about politics. It's all just about delegitimizing Donald Trump. And you know what the Democrats just did for us? They just made our argument even better. It's all about politics. It's all about what's in the Democratic Party's interest, not in what is in the interest of Americans. And I think it makes this whole thing, after a year of a special counsel, it makes most Americans who aren't all that political say, you know what, enough is enough. Put your cards on the table. Tell us what you have. If there's no collusion, we don't want to hear about Donald Trump's 70 years of life on this earth. That's not what this is about. It was about Russian collusion. And if there's none, let's move on.
Matt, keep in mind, we are having this conversation because the Russians hacked into our elections. They went after our democracy. We're having this conversation because it was the special prosecutors appointed by a Republican because A.G. Sessions had to recuse himself because of his contacts with Russia.
Antoine, no, your argument, you're confused. Which is what Democrats always do. Election interference is very different than collusion. Bob Mueller's purview is to look into whether there was collusion. It doesn't look like there have any or have found any. Why is the DNC making this political as opposed to letting the special counsel do their job?
They're not making it political. What the DNC wants to do is to get answers, just like the American people want answers. That's why 69% of the American people agree that he should continue his investigation.
But 69% of people think Bob. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
We've got our answers. Let me just say quickly, what we know is the IG just said Jim Comey needs to be investigated for the leaks.
Matt, now
we know that
McCain also has been fired because of his leaks. We have our answers. They're not answers the Democrats like.
Well, that's right. And there's a 2018 midterm coming up, and if the narrative isn't continued for Democrats, then what are they going to talk about in the campaign trail? That's my own personal perspective. Antoine Seawright and Matt Schlapp, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.
All right.